Good day, everyone. We are the Group 7 that will tackle the research about transparency and accountability that was entitled Transparency and Accountability in Governance, Impact on Corporate Performance, and Stakeholder Trust. And before we start to the main topic, first of all, let me introduce my team first. First of that is my name is Kasandra Jomelyn Castillo, and together with my team, Miss Elaiza Joy del Mundo and Miss Shielou Elinon that will tackle to all of you the introduction of our Chapter 4, which is the conclusion.
Good day! Now that we've completed the Chapter 1, 2, 3, we will now proceed to the Chapter 4 of this study. This section presents the conclusion and recommendation derived from the findings. Good day, Ma'am Melanie. Again, I am Shielou D. Elinon, and I will discuss the conclusion. In Chapter 3, we use the documentation analysis to make a case study about how being transparent and being accountability can affect the corporate performance and stakeholder trust in Turbo sub-country in Huasin Gishu in Kenya. We found out that transparency and accountability can affect or are very important in any organization because they help to improve the corporate performance, stakeholder trust, stakeholder engagement, and support company success. In Turbo, we saw that they show financial records, but still there's a lack of transparency in giving receipts on time. Also, the accountability is present, yes, but there are some weak areas that make the system less effective. So, in result in these issues, stakeholder trust and stakeholder engagements are low. Because when there is no trust, it can affect how well the companies and government works. So we use the stakeholders theory. Stakeholders theory says that businesses should not only focus on making profit. They also need to be fair, responsible, and engage with the stakeholders involved, like customers, investors, suppliers, environment, and or customers, or communities, and many more. So in short, good governance needs both transparency and accountability because it can directly influence the corporate performance and stakeholder trust. Also, stakeholders theory says that all voices matter. It reminds us that businesses is not about profit, and that concludes our study or our findings. Let's now hear the recommendations from Cassandra Jomelyn T. Castillo.
So good day again, everyone. So again, my name is Casandra Jomelyn T. Castillo, and for the continuation of Chapter 4 of our study, which we will tackle the recommendation that proposed on this study. So first, let's tackle the enhancement in transparency policy. So to promote trust and informed decision-making among stakeholders, we recommend in this study that organization must review and improve their transparency policies, which includes clearly in disclosing financial information, strategic decisions, performance metrics, and risk in a timely and accessible manner. So strengthening the transparency policy allows the stakeholders to better understand the company's operations and objectives. Second is the strengthening the accountability mechanism. So companies must implement stronger accountability that can ensure the individuals at all levels are held responsible for their actions and decisions. This involves in defining their clear roles and responsibilities, conducting regular audits, and also enforcing penalties for misconduct or negligence of their action. So, strengthening accountability also enhances the organizational integrity and performance of a company or business. So, on to this next slide, which is the enhancing in stakeholders' engagements. So, the organization are engaging to actively engage with their stakeholders, including employees, investors, customers, and even their communities. So, enhancing the stakeholders' engagement through feedbacks, consultations, and participatory in decision making. So, strengthening the stakeholders' engagement might build strong trust, improve satisfaction between stakeholders, and it can lead to a better informed corporate strategies. Fourth one is the leveraging the technology for governance. So, with the use of digital tools such as data analytics, blockchain, and management software can enhance the transparency and accountability of an organization. So, technology nowadays can help to automate reports, detect irregularities, and ensure the real-time access to a vital governance information. Furthermore, it can improve the decision-making and also the oversight of a company. And lastly, on this slide, we will tackle the last two of the recommendation, which is the development in comprehensive governance policies. So, it is essential for companies to establish well-defined and comprehensive governance policies that can outline ethical conduct, conflict of interest management, compliance requirements, and even the board responsibilities. These policies serves as a blueprint of a company for guiding their corporate behavior and maintaining good governance practices inside and outside of an organization. And lastly is the promoting an ethical corporate culture. So fostering a culture of ethics and integrity within the organization is the key in sustaining transparency and accountability. This can be achieved through ethical training, leadership by example, and the integration of ethical values into corporate missions and performance evaluation. An ethical culture reduces the risk of misconduct and strengthening the stakeholder trust.
Good day, I am Elaiza Joy of Mundo and I'll be presenting the chapter 5 of our study, which is the executive summary. In this chapter, we focus on how transparency and accountability in corporate governance can have a huge impact on trust and business performance. Basically, transparency means being open and honest, like sharing clear info about finances and decisions. Accountability, on the other hand, is about leaders taking responsibility for their actions, which builds trust and sets a good example. We also took a look at a real-life example, which is the case of Sub County in Uasin Gishu, Kenya, to see how poor governance affects communities and how better practices can turn things around. Let's start at the first point by talking about transparency and accountability. When we talk about transparency, it's all about being open and honest. It means sharing the right information at the right time so people can understand what's going on, whether it's financial reports or how decisions are made. Transparency helps businesses build trust with their customers, employees, and investors. The more open a company is, the easier it is for people to trust them. Meanwhile, accountability is about taking responsibility. If things go well, leaders should give credit to their teams. If things go wrong, they should own up to the mistakes and fix them. It's about showing that the leaders care about doing things the right way and are willing to be held responsible for their actions. Together, these two, transparency and accountability, form the foundation of good corporate governance, which means running a business ethically and responsibly, keeping people's best interests in mind. Next, which is the second point, we look at how strong governance can really help a business grow and succeed. In the case of the Turbo Sub-County in Wishin, Gishu, we saw firsthand how poor governance, especially a lack of transparency and accountability, led to corruption, poor service delivery, and a breakdown in public trust. Services weren't being delivered as they should, and the community lost faith in the system. On the other hand, businesses that set up a strong, transparent governance systems do much better. They build better relationships with stakeholders, maintain financial stability, and earn a strong public reputation. This shows that businesses with strong governance not only perform better, but also build trust that helps them succeed in the long run. Next point, what can businesses do to improve governance and stay transparent? Based on our key findings, our research shows that when companies are transparent with their communication and accountable for their actions, they often attract ethical investors and keep their customers loyal. Plus, employees feel more motivated and productive when they know they're working for a company that values transparency. There are also some tech solutions that can help. For example, the blockchain. Blockchain is a tool that keeps all transactions secure and easily traceable, making it harder to tamper with records. It's a great way to make sure things stay transparent and fraud-free. Then there's AI-powered data analytics. This helps companies look through their data quickly and find out if there are any issues or risks they need to address. It helps businesses stay open and honest with their stakeholders while also improving how they run their operations. Now, let's talk about what businesses can do to put these ideas into action. First up, businesses should set up transparency mechanisms. This means they should have regular audits, share financial reports, and make sure there's a way for employees or customers to speak up without fear of retaliation. This kind of openness keeps everyone on the same page. Second, it's important to increase stakeholder engagement. This means creating opportunities for people to give feedback, whether that's through open forums, surveys, or meetings. When stakeholders feel like they have a voice, trust builds and people are more willing to collaborate. Finally, the last one is by using technology, like blockchain and AI, along with putting ethics training in place for employees and leaders. It helps them to keep everything run smoothly. These tools make it easier to stay transparent, track decisions, and prevent mistakes before they happen. To wrap things up, when companies focus on strengthening transparency and accountability, they're not just improving their performance. They're also building trust that lasts. By doing this, businesses can create an environment where everyone feels they're treated fairly and honestly. This leads to stronger relationships with employees, customers, and investors, and gives the company a solid foundation for long-term growth and success. And that's the summary of Chapter 5. Thank you so much po.
And that's it, everyone. Thank you all guys for listening on our research study, which is the transparency and accountability in governance, impact of corporate performance, and stakeholder trust. And we, the Group 7, hope that you learned something for our research study. Thank you.